Five Nights at Freddy's, the new horror movie. Let's talk about it. So Five Nights at Freddy's is the newest horror movie that is now out on streaming on Peacock, which I don't know why they decided to do that, and on the big screen as well. Talk about taking money away. But that's where they are to watch. Now, this is based on the game that I actually have never played. So I went into this completely blind with no idea of what to expect or anything like that. Now, I have seen some people say that it's messy, it's not that very good. I have seen some people say it's actually a decent horror film. Some people have said that the hardcore fans of the game are going to love it. But what did I think of it? Someone that's neutral, that's never played the game, and I'll tell you what, look, it's definitely not the worst horror movie I've ever seen. I wouldn't even say it's like a bad horror movie. I actually quite enjoyed this movie for what it was. And I had fun with it as well. Now, I do have some things that I wish they did do that I think could have elevated this movie, but I understand why they chose not to. And that is, I would have liked to see a bit more of the gore and maybe, a bit more up the ante from a PG-13 to maybe the MMA sort of, region. It's the same thing the problem I had with Megan. I just felt like they cut scenes that could have been gruesome, that would have made that movie even better. And I feel like here, having a PG-13, I understand because apparently it's a kid's game or something like that. I might be mistaken, but I know that there's a huge fan base that are actually kids as well that play this game. So I understand making a PG-13 kind of lets you get that audience to come in and watch this, where if you bump it up to MA or R, then you kind of, limit yourself to getting those people. But then you're dropping it on streaming anyway, so it's not like they can't watch it anyway if you're dropping it on streaming. I mean, let's be real. But I feel like that's what was missing that really would have elevated this even more for me, was having those moments where, the animatronic beings come to life and actually we see how gruesome they really are. And like when the cupcake is actually on old mate's face, it would have been great to actually see the blood coming out and stuff like that. But I'm just a sick psychopath person that wants to see blood all the time. That's really what I want to see, isn't it? When I come to a horror movie, yes, it is. But look, overall, as a story itself, I thought the story was actually quite interesting. And it had a lot of heart to it, especially with seeing the character of Mike, who had this traumatic experience as a kid, which is like one of the biggest fears most people and parents and siblings have with something that involves his brother. And I found that very, it made me connect with the character and actually care for Mike and his sister through this journey that they go on. And you know what? I was rooting for him. I wanted him to find out all these secrets, find out things that happened. I wanted to know. I wanted him to get that closure he needed. And I felt like his character went on this really good arc that, has this person that's living in the past all the time that wants to change the past. And then going to becoming this character who realizes you can't change the past. What happened in the past happened. It happened. But now you have something else here to live for. Something else that your whole attention needs, that someone that needs you. And I find that character arc absolutely superb when it comes to Mike. And to incorporate it into the actual Five Nights of Freddy's with these animatronic beings that just come to life, that just, you don't know what they're going to do. They're 50-50. And I thought that was really, really done really well. And I love the plot. I really did like the plot, man. And, the twist is quite predictable. I kind of predicted that that's what the twist was going to be. But hey, I mean, sometimes, it being predictable doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It worked. It was executed right. And I like the idea and the ending of the film as well and how that all came about. That was really, really great. As for the actual animatronic beings there, hey, they look pretty cool. They did look pretty good in this movie. I'm not going to lie. They did look pretty freaky, especially Foxy. Foxy, man. Oh, Foxy was like, nah, I don't want to meet Foxy in a dark alley. I'll tell you that now, because that is one scary robot. And, I had no idea what the actual premise of this movie was because I've never played the game. And to hear about the gruesome, things that are actually to do with them, with the robots, is absolutely like, ah, this is kind of messed up. I kind of messed up, man. I'm just gonna see it. I thought I might have had psychopathic thoughts when I'm watching horror movies like Saw and stuff like that. But man, this movie, what they say happens, is like kind of, whew, okay. But I felt like that was all great. I really did. I really liked them. And you know what? The tension that they built in this movie, while it's not the greatest tension, I'll tell you that now. It's not like one where I'm sitting on the edge of my seat all the time, like, oh my God, man, I can't take my eyes off, or like, I'm shivering with anxiety because something's going to happen. No, that's not all the time, but there's some moments where they do actually have that moment, and, you kind of feel like, ooh, okay, I'm getting this horror vibe now. So I enjoyed that aspect as well. Look, as for the aunt, let's talk about the aunt for a second, because, bruh, man, she is not a very nice human being, I can tell you that now. Like, what she is willing to do in this movie is insane. Absolutely insane. So you have her as a villain. You obviously have the actual villain himself in this movie, which, you know what, is kind of messed up. And it's good to see Shaggy back, isn't it? It's great to see Shaggy in another movie. I thought Josh Hutcherson was absolutely fantastic in this movie. It's so good to see him back doing stuff like this again. I thought he was superb. I really did think he played that character really, really well. And it was his performance that was able to, portray that character that made me be able to connect with him on that personal level and actually feel for this character. So, look, Five Nights at Freddy's, it's not the greatest movie. I'll tell you that now. I mean, but hey, I had a lot of fun with it. It was better than what I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be absolutely horrible for a minute. I was like, I don't know what to expect, but this could be absolutely like Winnie the Pooh crap. Like, it could be that bad. But you know what? I was pleasantly surprised at how much I actually enjoyed this movie. And you know, it's one that I would go back and rewatch. It is one that I would rewatch, and I wouldn't be opposed to it. I would sit down and be like, yeah, I'll watch it again. I just wish we did get a little bit more blood and gore. I really do wish we did get that. And I feel like that would have elevated it for me personally. But hey, this movie wasn't made for me. It was made for the fans of the game, and I understand that. And look, I hope you guys enjoyed it so much that, hey, could we get a sequel? Potentially. And you know what? I wouldn't be opposed to a sequel to this movie. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing another one. But let me know what you guys thought, especially you fans of Five Nights at Freddy's. Did you guys love it? Smash it down there. Smash that like button for me. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.